I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kwadash. And double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone for pushing this truth and enduring bishops as well. Matter of fact, and when this cometh to pass, and lo, it will come. All right? Matter of fact, let me. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 33, verse 33. And when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come. Then shall they know that a prophet hath been among them. Now, did they have to accumulate millions of dollars to prove that they were a prophet? Nah. That's why, nowadays it feels like, you don't even gotta be no prophet. You can just listen to a prophet, say what they say. Damn, I gotta fix the screen and flip through the book. That's too much. That's too much. And then all of a sudden, you sound like a genius just for listening to a prophet. Right. And when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come. Then shall they know that a prophet had been among them. Ezekiel 33 and 33. Right. That's why I give respect for the endurance of the apostles and the elders of the disciples of Yahushua, which lay within the footsteps of the prophets of One West. So, it's the Passover. I almost went out last night because I had saw shooting stars shining. But then I thought I'd have been going off if I went out last night. I was thinking a lot when I was rushing to Walmart for some kosher crackers. That's what I was able to get. And kept telling myself not to be over righteous. And I was thinking about how, let me see. The book of Genesis. I don't even want to get that scripture because But yeah, I was thinking about how even Yahushua was sacrificed as unblemished lamb without sin on the Passover. Joseph had to endure that. I was thinking about how we're coming out of the house of bondage. He frameth mischief by laws, covered fields by violence. We're coming out of the house of bondage, and Genesis chapter 37, verse 1. And Jacob dwelt in the land wherein his father was a stranger, in the land of Canaan. These are the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brethren, and the lad was with sons of Belial, and with sons of Zilpah, I don't know how to say it, Zilpah or whatever, his father's wives. And Joseph brought unto his father their evil report. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a coat of many colors. And when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him and could not speak peaceably unto him. Now I'm laughing to myself like they acting like a 2/3. And Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it to his brethren, and they hated him yet the more. And he said unto them, Hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf arose, and also stood upright, and behold, your sheaf stood round about, and made obeisance to my sheaf. And his brethren said it to him. God damn it. What is that? Genesis 37. Let's get it.
Strong's H 7812, Shacha, Shacha.
Alright, to bow down, prostrate oneself before superior in homage, before Yahweh in worship, before false gods, before angels. So in Strong's definition, prostrate in homage to royalty or Yahweh, bow self down, crouch, fall down, flat, humbly beseech, do, make obeisance, do reverence, make to stoop, worship. All right, so Genesis chapter 37, verse 8, and his brethren said to him, Shalt thou indeed reign over us, or shalt thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet the more for his dreams and for his words. All right, now, for the sake of time and because this has nothing to really do what I was thinking about, I was thinking about how, Joseph ended up in the house of bondage first. All right. And our forefather, the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Israel, he lost his son. Right? He thought he was dead. All right. And the fathers, they had to, just like Abraham, what is it, Genesis 22? Genesis 22. Well, should really go up in to 21. But I'll just read Genesis 22. And matter of fact, I'll prove it. Genesis 22:10. And Abraham stretched forth his hand and took his knife to slay his son. All right? To make a sacrifice. But he didn't have to. Right? The Lord provided a way. Just as though Israel had to feel as though he had to make a sacrifice with his son, like his son was sacrificed. All right? And the brethren sacrificed their son. His son. All right? Isaac had to sacrifice the birthright, so to say, to keep his word upon the earth and to the Heavenly Father. It just makes me think of how powerful the word is according to the scripture. Even the sins of the daughter and the wife and can be forgiven by the husband and the father. The oath that they make, not the sins. It's like it. That's slip of the tongue. The oath that they make. Therefore, no sin shall be made. If the husband or the father says no, they don't have to do that, then they're not bound by that word, and no sin is committed. But a lot of things that I was thinking about was how on the day that we had to flee Egypt and put blood on the doorposts. In our history, it was people may have been coming from work. People may have been last minute people. It's always last minute people. You think about the 2/3 that was murmuring in the wilderness, but you couldn't deny the forecast, the news reports from the prophets, and whether it was see, I need to get these scriptures. I was just thinking so much. Hold on. Genesis chapter 37. Let's see. Verse 13. And Israel said unto Joseph, do not thy brethren feed the flock in Shechem? Come, and I will send thee unto them. And he said unto him, here I am. And he said to him, go, I pray thee, see whether it would be well with thy brethren, and well with the flocks, and bring me word again. All right, and this is, after they was a little jealous about the dream. Right, where his sheaf, where their sheaf stood round about and made obeisance to his sheaf. Right, he was prophesying. Verse 15, verse 14, he said, go. And he said to him, go, I pray thee, see whether it will be well with thy brethren, and well with the flocks, and bring me word again. Bring me word again. He tells his son, bring me word again. He tells his son, come back to me. So he sent him out of the valley of Hebron and came to Shechem. And a certain man found him, and behold, he was wandering in the field. And the man asked him, saying, what seekest thou? What the hell is you doing, man? And he said, I seek my brethren. Tell me, I pray thee, where they feed their flocks. And the man said, they are departed hence, for I heard them say, let us go to Dothan. And damn it, hey, listen, the streets is watching. They listening. And Joseph went after his brethren and found them in Dothan. And when they saw him afar off, even before he came near, and to them they conspired against him to slay him. And they said one to another, behold, this dreamer cometh. All right, now that's got me thinking about these other people out here, these so-called camps. They're the brethren. All right, it's like part of the temple wanting to be prettier than the other part of the temple, or wanting to sell the other part of the temple to Egypt, and just being their part of the temple and calling themselves the true temple. Anyway, and when they saw him afar off, even before he came near unto them, they conspired against him to slay him. And they said one to another, behold, this dreamer cometh. All right. Damn, that's not got me thinking. See, now I'm still thinking about how a prophet said the other day that even IUIC is part of the temple. All right, but people like them. And I just seen Watchman for Israel is downtown now. I seen that kind of threw me off 2 days ago. It popped up on my timeline. I ain't seen him in person. It popped up on my timeline. I was like, yo, they acting like how I was out Baltimore when I was with the Watchman for Watchmen for Darkness. And now therefore let us slay him and cast him into some pit, and we will say some evil beast have devoured him, and we shall see what will become of his dreams. All right, and that's how these false prophets twisting the truth and having Passover parties and pay for a pay-per-view, and you're going to have the bitch to sing, I cook, I clean, I fucking shut up at your shit performing. The fuck is going on out here, man? This shit is crazy. You can't make this shit up. Verse 21, and Reuben heard it, and he delivered him out of their hands and said, let us not kill him. And Reuben said unto them, shed no blood, but cast him into this pit that is in the wilderness, and lay no hand upon him, that he might rid him out of their hands, to deliver him to his father again. All right. That just makes me think of the mercy of the Lord. Right, always wanting us to be delivered back into the hands of the Father. And you can keep reading to see what happens if you don't know what happens. Joseph ended up doing his thing in Egypt. He was sold to wait a minute, what does it say? Genesis 37 and 26. And Judas said unto his brethren, what profit is it if we slay our brother and conceal his blood? All right, Judah's like, there's no gain in that. There's no good in that. It's actually literally no money in that. Verse 27, come and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites. All right, Genesis chapter 16 speaks of the birth of Ishmael, the handmaid of one of our forefathers, and his mother's received a message from an angel. And it's in Genesis 16, and let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother and our flesh, and his brethren were content. All right. And then they passed the Midianites, merchantmen, and they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver. And they brought Joseph into Egypt. How you gonna split 20 pieces of silver with them all them brothers? That's like the people that I seen that got locked up for robbing the pizza man, and he only had a couple bucks, and they all shared a slice of pizza, and it was like 8 of them. We was all laughing at that guy. Alright, we was laughing. Oh yeah, let me see. So, man, what am I calling? What's going on? Alright, so even though the book of Jeremiah chapter 16 verse 14, even though it was, we were sold into, just as our family was sold into ancient Egypt before house of bondage, according to Exodus 20 and 2, we were sold into spiritual Egypt, spiritual Sodom. It's according to Revelation. But prophecy all throughout the Old Testament and the New Testament speak of the same thing. Jeremiah chapter 16 verse 14, therefore behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that it shall no more be said, the Lord liveth that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But the Lord liveth that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the North America, and from all the lands whither he had driven them, and I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers. All right, and the reason why it says the land of the North and why that's North America is because America is Babylon the Great. All right, it's according to the scriptures. Babylon the Great is spiritual Sodom and Egypt. Spiritual Esau is tied to Nineveh. What do you call it? Esau is tied to being a daughter of Babylon. All right. Esau is tied to being what do you call it? Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. And our forefathers, they had to make a sacrifice. All right, Matthew chapter 10, verse 37. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. Right, so I was thinking about how when Israel had lost his son Joseph, he thought, it was over. He thought he was dead. But when he got his son back, when he got his son back, he realized that it seemed like he was in the kingdom. It was a famine in the land. And it just seemed like his son was just like the king. And that's how it's going to be coming up out of this land of Egypt. Coming up out of this captivity with starving food and all this chaos and wanting to flee to a so-called place of refuge, because ancient Egypt was the place of refuge to know you was good back then. But knowing to survive this modern spiritual Egypt, to where they mummify the bodies when you die, just like in ancient Egypt, to where they got the pyramid in ancient Egypt in the city of Memphis, and you got the city of Memphis off the Nile River in ancient Egypt, and you got the city of Memphis off the Mississippi River, which is called the American Nile, which is nicknamed the American Nile River. You got the we can go on and on about the similarities of ancient Egypt and I don't want to get too disgusting on the Sabbath day, but then you got the makeup. You got the you can go on. You can look up the similarities in ancient Egypt. Matter of fact, let's do it. No. See how it shows up Mesopotamia? So, similarities of ancient Egypt and America, pyramid structures. Both ancient Egypt and America are known for their pyramid structures. In ancient Egypt, these pyramid structures were used as tombs for pharaohs, while in ancient America they were used for religious and ceremonial purposes. Ancient Egypt and America were both based on agriculture. Many of their games were similar to the games we play today, such as hunting, board games, sports, festivals, and games for children. But Mesopotamia and ancient Egypt shared certain cultural similarities. Socially, Egypt and Mesopotamia were both hierarchically structured, separate and distinct class systems, divided most of the population in recognizable ways. How are the U.S. presidents similar to ancient Egyptian pharaohs? The Egyptian pharaoh and the American president both wielded great power, played critical roles in legislation, could pardon, and controlled their militaries. Wow, I didn't see this coming. How are ancient Egypt and Christianity similar? He further suggests that not only were these personalities and the stories associated with them cultivated on the banks of the Nile, but the major tenets of Christian belief, the one God, the Trinity, the hierarchy of heaven, life after death, and the virgin birth, are all Egyptian in origin. Yeah, I remember that. I just didn't see how it was worded. Christianity, I'm like, wow. Well, now you can't say that. It says what has stayed the same in ancient Egypt. Throughout Egypt history, beliefs and practices were constantly changing through the themes of fertility, rebirth, death, and resurrection generally remain constant. But I was thinking, it says something else, that the question something else. But see, people don't believe in resurrection is all confused now. All right, it said, why did Egypt fall? And it gave the false answer. All right. It gave a false answer. But I was thinking, that on the night of the Passover in Egypt, people truly had to, if they really believed or if they had to work, they had to rush. Because I kept looking, seeing when the sun would go down, And it says 7:42 on the time, but it really looked like, 7:50, 8 o'clock. And I just, did everything as fast as I could. You know what I'm saying? Just gobbled it quick while I was listening to something, listening to some brother and just whatever. And it was just like, yeah, everything went fast. Like yeah. Cause I ain't really had time to cook nothing in the oven, cause I had to work. So it put me in another mentality. Like, damn, like what did like the believers really had to go through back then? You know what I'm saying? Cause like you had to put the blood on the doorpost. You had to cook the whole lamb. Like you needed time. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, the lamb wasn't pumped with nitrogen to make it fresher and preserve it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, obviously, you can't do it perfect or do it how they did it, but I just had to cook a little piece of the lamb real fast on the fire. I ain't had time to put it in the oven. I ain't had time to even start no grill. You know what I'm saying? So just cooked a little piece on the burner. And it cooked good, it went smooth. And it did it fast. But I was just thinking that the way that it's gonna be now, we in the Second Ezra chapter 15 verse 11. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. Now this Egypt, this is the spiritual Egypt, and it's going to be destroyed with ICBM missiles, according to the scriptures. But before that happens, the elect men, women, and children are going to be beamed up in the cloud and see the glory of the Lord. The book of Exodus chapter 16 verse 10. And it came to pass, as Aaron spake unto the whole congregation of the children of Israel, that they looked toward the wilderness, and behold, the glory of the Lord appeared in the cloud. Right? And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, I have heard the murmurings of the children of Israel. Speak unto them, saying, at evening ye shall eat flesh, and in the morning ye shall be filled with bread, and ye shall know that I am the Lord your God. And so it's a lot of miracles that's going to take place to survive what's going to happen. It's going to outdo the miracles that took place in ancient Egypt. And the sacrifice still has to be made, just like Joseph went through with his father to receive his I ain't saying get sold out. It was just a lot going through my mind. It was a lot. Yeah. I had to get off my chest. I felt like it was an hour. It was only 34 minutes. I didn't even gonna let nobody hear. Yeah. Because I was just talking. I had to get off my chest. I really only did this like, I was like, I gotta do it for my sons, because I'm talking about the Bible, like they gotta hear from somebody. But
But like, oh, okay, I guess. A prophet, is that like when you go to church? Is that supposed to be, do you know what I'm saying?
The church is just a body of believers.
Right.
That's why they got the church of the devil and everything.
Okay, so now when I'm not talking about the believers, like, so the pastor, what is he? He's not a prophet? No. Is he? What would make him a prophet? Like you telling, you know what I'm trying to say?
I'm gonna go to the